Hey, this is Trader Travis, and I am back for part 2 of 2 in our option trading for a living training series. Now, in the first part of this series, what I did was, I'm considered a full-time trader. So I answer some of the more common questions I get asked about trading for a living. And then I revealed what I consider some of the more important questions you absolutely need to answer if you want to successfully trade for a living. And so we continue that conversation here in part 2, and I give you some more important questions to consider, and then give you a step-by-step process you can take if you want to take trading for a living for a trial run before you quit your day job. So I hope you enjoyed the second part, and we start off where we ended in the first video, talking about if you have enough strategies to survive every market environment. Do you have enough option trading strategies to trade in any market environment? You're going to need an option trading system that allows you to profit no matter what the stock market is doing. The stock market can do 3 things. It can go up, it can go down, or it can go nowhere. So you need to be able to profit with all 3, or else you're going to find yourself sitting on the sidelines more than you want to. If you have a severe drawdown, or also known as lose a crap load of money, where will you get the money to rebuild your trading account? Are you going to sell your second-born child? Will you stand on a corner and show some thigh? Can you tap your savings, or do you even have a savings account? Mainly, where's the money going to come from? Because if you think you can trade your account back up, from where it's at, you may be in for a rude awakening, because here's what I call the secret investing loss formula that your mutual fund managers don't want to show you. All right, this diagram, what you see right now is an example. If you have this % loss in the left column, this % loss in your account, the right column is how much you need to get back just to break even. So if you lose 20% of your trading account, the size it goes, you lose 20% of your money. You're going to need a 25% return on investment just to get back break even. Okay, some people lose as much as 50% in their entire trading account. If you do that, you need to double your entire account balance just to get back to break even. And don't get below 50. It gets even horrible after that. The reason I say your mutual fund manager doesn't want to show you this is because most of your mutual fund accounts in bear markets, sometimes they lose more than 50%. And then the stock market may gain another 60% the next year after the bear market is over, and people think their accounts are back to normal. No, folks. If you lose 50% or more in your long-term investing account, your account or the stock market, that whatever stock you're investing in is going to need to double. And that's just to get you back to break even. So you have to ask yourself, how often do stocks or the stock market as a whole double in price? So you're in for a long ride, folks. What is your backup plan if you become disabled and can no longer trade? Some examples. What if you have an amputation? Your legs or your arms get amputated. What if you go blind? Now, I know these are extreme examples, so let me give you something more realistic. Arthritis. If your fingers have bad arthritis, you're going to have a hard time clicking the mouse button and doing other things you may need to do as a trader. And if you ever find yourself in this position and you want to wallow in self-pity, look up a guy named Nick Vujicic. Whenever I get depressed and I want to wallow in self-pity, I look up this guy, and usually I can find a few of his videos on YouTube, and he always brings me back to reality and for me to remember the more important things in life. And get this guy has no arms, no legs, and he's an options trader. So the story is amazing. You got to look him up. Do you have a 6 to 12 month emergency fund saved up? If you think you're going to trade 12 months out the year every single year, you're wrong. There are times you can't trade, and there are times you shouldn't be trading. And you definitely should not trade during stressful times. I've seen examples of where a spouse of 46 years passes away. People get word that their kid has died in a car accident. Or what if you yourself get in an accident and you have surgery? If you think the next morning you're going to fire up your computer and be ready to tackle the stock market, it's not going to happen. Trading is probably the last thing that's going to be on your mind. And there's a reason all wealthy people recommend you have a rainy day fund, and this is why. Now, I don't mean to be gloomy and depressing, but if you trade options for a living, these are things you really need to consider. Heck, if you work a corporate job, these are things you need to consider. Do you have a clue as to what your lifestyle will be like as a full-time trader? Will all the free time drive you crazy, or will you even have any free time? Do you need to be glued to your computer 24 hours a day? Will the money come rolling in on a consistent basis? Now, at least one good thing I can say about corporate America is they give you the security of a regular income. I want a regular income, and I don't get that with options. Trading options is like working on commission. Some months are great and others aren't so great. And maybe solely depending on the income that has a yo-yo effect will drive you nuts. And now that you've seen some of the more important questions to ask yourself, I have some good news for you. You can experience option trading for a living on a trial basis before you dive headfirst into the world of self-employment. At least this way, you can see what it would be like to trade options for a living before you actually commit to the journey. And let's assume you're really gutsy like me and you say, heck with those questions and preparing beforehand. I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to open up a new bank account and trade for a month. After each successful trade, put half of the gains into that bank account. And the other half, they're going to stay in your trading account to cover any losses you have and also increase your trading capital. After a month, start paying your bills from your new bank account. And keep doing this for several months and see how well you manage. And be brutally honest with yourself through the whole process. Evaluate your actual reality of trading options for a living, not what you think you can do as a trader, but what you're actually doing right now. If you're like most people, you hate your job and it stresses you out, and you just want to sit back and trade options for a few minutes a day and make a very nice income doing it. But my advice would be get rid of the stress first and then see if you still desire to trade options full time. Find a job you love, not a job you have to work at because of how much money you make at that job. I was deep in debt and wanted to be a millionaire by age 30. Well, after taking a Dave Ramsey class and eliminating our debt, that desire to make millions subsided. It didn't go away, but the intensity was turned down. It's amazing how rich you feel when you have no bills. And after all of what you just heard, you may be asking yourself if option trading for a living is even possible. Is it doable? Is there anyone out there actually trading options for a living? And I say yes. Online stock option trading has opened the doors for a lot of regular people who've always wanted to be a full-time trader. But most traders don't stick to just trading options or just stocks. The ones I know trade everything: options, stocks, bonds, sometimes even commodities or forex. And also, most own other businesses or have other streams of income. As you can see, there are questions people hardly even consider when they think about trading options for a living. There are many people out there making a living or supplementing their retirement income by trading options, and the numbers continue to grow. More and more people enter the world of online stock option trading every year. And if others can do it, there's a reasonable chance that you can also. Just start small and take your time to learn the art of trading. The markets are going to be here tomorrow. Maybe consider trading part-time first so you can gain some experience and knowledge. And you can aim for high annual returns in the hundreds of percent or more, but typically 15 to 30% a year is more realistic. Start with as much money as you can, commit to a lifetime of learning, and remember, you will have losing trades. So if you have a problem with losing money, build a bridge and get over it. Losing is a part of all successful trading, so why would you try to avoid something that is a part of all successful trading? And when people realize how much money you can make as a trader, they always ask me, why doesn't everyone trade for a living? Which my response will be, because it's too hard. The income potential of trading has been compared to the income potential of doctors and lawyers. Of all the people who go to law or medical school, only a few will make it through the rigorous program. People see how much money you can make as a doctor or lawyer, but what they don't see is what you have to go through to make that money. It's the same way with trading, and that's why I don't recommend you trade for a living. I think there's an easier and better approach. So what is this better approach? Well, I'll have to save that for another lesson.